Monster Fred here again, with more of my favorite horror films. And as before, I present these in no real order. Let's get started. First up, the Amityville Horror. Newlyweds move into a large house where a mass murder was committed. They experience strange manifestations which drive them away. This is a wild ride from start to finish, and what really raises the fear factor is that it's based on something that might have actually happened. Trilogy of Terror. 3 bizarre horror stories, ending with the story of an African doll out for blood. I'll make this short and sweet. The first 2 stories are good, but the third and final one is what this film is most remembered for. So I won't spoil it by saying any more. Just know that it's a good watch, if you can find it. The Return of the Living Dead. When 2 bumbling employees at a medical supply warehouse accidentally release a deadly gas into the air, the vapors cause the dead to rise again as zombies. This has a fine mix of humor and horror. I mean, you can't go wrong when 2 of your main characters are named Bert and Ernie. Up next, The Eye. A blind girl gets a cornea transplant so she could see again. However, she got more than what she bargained for when she realizes she could even see ghosts. This is the first foreign movie on the list, and it delivers a good dose of fear. Word to the wise though, avoid the 2008 remake, as it doesn't come close to living up to the original. The Babadook. A widowed mother, plagued by the violent death of her husband, battles with her son's fear of a monster lurking in the house, but soon discovers a sinister presence all around her. The Babadook admittedly wasn't on my radar. That is, until word of it began to spread. So I'm glad I didn't miss out. It's just the kind of creep fest I'm always on the lookout for. Next up, Frailty. A man confesses to an FBI agent of how his religious fanatic father's visions led to a series of murders to destroy supposed demons. I hesitated putting this on the list because it's not really considered a horror film. But it has enough horror elements in it to keep a monster like me interested. It's got a good story and an ending that'll leave you in pieces. The Hunger. A love triangle develops between a beautiful yet dangerous vampire, her cellist companion, and a gerontologist. The Hunger takes vampire movies in a different direction, and different can be a good thing, as long as it's done right. So there are no problems here. Also, if you're a fan of David Bowie, like myself, then you'll enjoy his performance here, as it's one of my favorite things about this film. A Tale of Two Sisters. A family is haunted by the tragedies of deaths within the family. This one's a must-see for those who consider themselves true fans of horror. And it's another foreign entry, so I hope you don't mind the subtitles. Black Christmas. A sorority house is terrorized by a stranger who makes frightening phone calls and then murders the sorority sisters during Christmas break. Black Christmas delivers that old-school psychological horror that's so hard to find in many modern horror pictures. The cheap jump scares found today are a poor substitute for the real thing. So check this one out. And finally, Shutter. A young photographer and his girlfriend discover mysterious shadows in their photographs after a tragic accident. They soon learn that you cannot escape your past. The final foreign entry on the list, and this one gets one of my highest recommendations. It gets into your head and chills you in all the right places. It's horror done right, plain and simple. And on a side note, avoid the 2008 remake like the plague, as it's another that doesn't come close to the original. That's it for now, horror fans. By the way, if any of you have horror films to recommend, leave a comment below, and maybe I'll include it in a future video. So, until next time, I'll be seeing you in the abyss.
Wow!